Hey guys, how's it going? So this week, obviously things have shifted and changed a little bit. No grocery haul this week. The reason that ended up happening is our list has just not grown very much since I did 2 weeks of meal planning, most of it based on the pantry. I sent Sean to the store just for produce because we were pretty much out of apples and bananas. And then he picked up, I think, some grapes. And that was it. Like 3 pieces of produce, or not pieces, but 3 varieties of produce. And that was it for fruit. And yeah, so we're just going to hold off until next week for the grocery haul. I already did the meal plan. So right now, guys, we're just trying to get stuff done around the house. I'm hanging out back here in my room and come forward so you guys can see some of the stuff. I've got messes to take care of. Yeah, we've got stuff. I mean, it's not the worst it's ever been. Turn around here, our closet. We've got stuff everywhere. So, I'm gonna come out this way while I'm talking. So yeah, we're gonna work on getting some of that stuff done. We were supposed to be having the appraisal this week because that was rescheduled for that. And Sean actually called this morning to our mortgage guy and told him, let's postpone. So we're not doing that here at the end of this week now. But I am trying to work on the house and stuff. So I've been working on getting Christmas stuff cleaned up. I think when Sean gets home from work today, we're going to take down the tree. And I know it's not quite New Year's yet. I normally love having Christmas stuff up, but guys, I'm ready. I'm ready to make some changes. I'm sure like a lot of you guys, I guess I don't know about you, but in fact, you can leave it down in the comment section down below where you have been on this. I have found myself saying, oh, 2020 is almost over. I am so ready for a new year to start. Guys, who genuinely thinks that January 1st is going to bring about so much change? They're going to be like, yes, new year. It's not happening, guys. I think we will see gradual changes in the coming weeks and months and everything else. I can't say whether I believe it's going to be for the better or the worse. That has yet to be seen, but yeah, I've got one sitting back there enjoying the rest of the goldfish she got for Christmas. But yeah, guys, nothing's going to change. It's genuinely not, and I hate to break anybody's bubble there, but 2021 is just another day, and boy, I sound like a Debbie Downer. Anyhow, I have decided, though, just to go ahead and make some shifts and changes. So, like I said, tree's going to come down. I'm going to sort through my birds on top of the fireplace there, which I guess my hand's going in the wrong direction. There you go. Get some of that picked up. I've got crocheting stuff on the floor in front there. We've been talking, we bought the TV mount so our TV is not sitting there anymore. Guys, I guess I've shown you guys this stuff before, but really quick, I'll show you that in a sec. I already took down the nativity and stuff that we had sitting here. My radio used to sit here, and we took it down to my craft room recently. So partially to make room for the nativity, but also because I want it down there. I don't have any music or anything. I do have a laptop down there that I use for my Cricut, and I take my phone down there, but I use this for my videos until my new camera comes. Funny story about that. As far as I can tell, the camera's supposed to be here tomorrow, but the memory card for it's not gonna be here till Thursday. So as soon as that comes, I'm gonna do a video on that. But anyhow, so to the TV. Right now, it sits in front of our fireplace. We don't use it. It's a wood-burning stove. The inspector, when we bought the house, said it was so clean, looked like it had never been used. There's a really good chance it never has been used. We don't genuinely know. The people we bought it from said they had never used it, but then we found out they didn't actually live here, so they didn't know. But we have to have the chimney and everything inspected, and the smoke that does come back from that, we don't want to deal with it. So we planted the TV there when we first moved in. Well, now we've got the mount. We're going to put it right there where the clock is. I got to figure out where to put my clock because I love that thing. And I don't. So let me do a full 360 here. So you've got that space. There is a little bit of wall over in the corner, but I don't want to stick my clock there. Over here by the front door, well, right now there's the Christmas cow picture, but that's not, I've got a different picture that goes there when it's not Christmas. I'm not going to hang it there at the top of the stairwell under the sconce. Come around here. I have talked about hanging it in that space right there. But I don't know, because right now it's playing Christmas tunes, and if the battery's dying and stuff, it's kind of a pain to swap out there. And then we've got all of our kitchen and dining room stuff. And then I do have this wall here. That's where, since we moved in, okay, so for years, and I mean, by that, I'm talking like 10 to 15 years, I've always had a collection of crosses up on a wall somewhere. This house doesn't really have one wall big enough, so I put a few of my favorite ones up on this wall before. We took them down to paint. It would be a decent spot for my clock, but I have to decide if I want to put my cross collection back up or not. I could hang it in the hallway here somewhere, which my hopes and plans are to actually hang a ton of pictures in the hallway. I had some frames, empty frames hanging up there before we painted. But again, I took everything down. The one at the very end of the hallway, I hung back up when we were done, but that's it. So again, I could put the crosses in the hallway. Guys, I gotta tell you though, with this many kids running up and down the hallway, toys, you know, even though we don't throw things in the house and whatnot, things get hit. And I just don't want pictures or the crosses getting knocked off the wall. You can replace frames, but the crosses can't always be replaced, at least not with the same ones. So there's that. I do have the space in the stairwell right there. But again, I've got a really pretty sign picture that goes right there. So I got a lot of stuff to get done, but that's okay. And since we're not doing the appraisal, now I get to figure out just what we are doing. I'm going to continue decluttering, cleaning up, A, as if we were having the appraisal, and B, as if, well, I love the way a house feels when we are cleaning for staging to sell. And so even though we're not planning on it right now, I kind of just want to get it that way, because guys, it feels so much better when there's less stuff in here, and things have kind of fallen apart in here lately. So we're gonna work with that. Other big changes, guys, we have officially said goodbye to Bethany Christian Services. So in another video more recently, I actually did go ahead and mention them by name. I have made a point to be avoiding saying what private agency we've been working with for the last almost 3 years. Just because we've had a lot of opinions, a lot of back and forth. And I gotta say, guys, well, here's some opinions on it really quick. I'm gonna keep this brief. I'm not gonna say anything slanderous or anything like that. I am going to voice my opinion and state some facts. We are finally officially done with Bethany Christian Services. We have no intention of ever working with them again. I'm really hoping this doesn't shoot me in the foot and that somehow we need them in the future, but I don't, you know what, even if it came down around to that, we wouldn't use them. We have fully switched our home study and everything over to the state. So our home study has been moved over to the state of South Dakota. We now hold a foster care license with the state of South Dakota. All of that's been removed. So we have no interaction with Bethany Christian Services anymore. So, yeah, it's all over to the state now. I've got an 8-year-old who's trying to see if he can sneak into the video there. Gotta keep my train of thought. Guys, it's really easy for me to lose it sometimes. I have to say we have not had a pleasant experience with them. And there were a couple of comments made throughout the entire time that really made us go, whoa, hold on a sec. But guys, we were stuck, genuinely stuck, because in our state, our options are so limited. I gotta figure out how to say this. Bethany Christian Services is the only agency that we could find in the state of South Dakota that works directly with the foster care system. Other agencies that we contacted said that they do not deal with foster care placements or anything because of the amount of work and paperwork that is involved with it. It's just not worth it for them. Okay, that's fine. The state of South Dakota, unlike some other states though, only places, up until November, only did placements through the state agencies, not private agencies. So we could do a foster care adoption through Bethany, but not actually foster. I do know that in some other states and whatnot, you can be licensed to do foster care through private agencies and all that. It's just not how it works here. But since then, I will say, as of November, the state is really working in conjunction with Lutheran Social Services and the Children's Home Society to shift some of that. So a lot of it's going through LSS now. But that still doesn't include Bethany. When we started, and again, all of this only changed because of COVID, the state of South Dakota has a limit of 6 kids in the home. We had 7. I want to say we're down to 6, but that's only because our oldest turned 18. She still lives here, but she no longer counts as a child in the home. So we have 6 kids in the home now, which by those standards would still preclude us. But because of COVID, I had actually been working with a few different people. I've talked to the attorney for the state of South Dakota that works with the Department of Social Services, talked to him personally, and he was really behind the idea of getting something set up to allow exemptions or exceptions or however you want to word it. However, he had to be really careful how he worded anything to me because technically he works for the state. So what I found out is that it was an administrative rule, not a law, so we could get it shifted. I just had to talk to the right people. Because we were working with Bethany, they were really tying our hands with it. They didn't want us talking to people. They only wanted us doing it on their terms, and they wanted to be a big part in this negotiation and basically have control. The problem with all of that is Bethany is all about the money. There, I said it. Early on in the process, and I'm talking in the first couple of months, we watched fees and everything shift and change because, I can't tell you why, but what I can ultimately tell you is when we were originally told it would cost us $500 each year to renew our home study, that suddenly went up to $1,100. And when I asked them why, we were told, oh, that's an admin fee because we were doing a foster care adoption, not an infant adoption, which we never were to begin with. And we were flat told they make less money off of the foster care adoptions than they do infant adoptions, and they have to make up some of that money somewhere. It does not cost them any more to do the home study. It is the exact same home study. It is the exact same training. Now, we've done far more training than most people typically do. We didn't do the bare minimums. We did so far above and beyond. But again, that didn't cost them anything. That cost us. Some time, some money, just depended. And so anyhow, fast forwarding, that's what it came down to ultimately. There was, a year and a half ago, we were almost matched with another child. And one of the things that was said to us when that did not work out is how they didn't make any money off of it. There almost seemed to be some hurt feelings off of that. Then the 2 kiddos that we were being matched with over the summer, that ultimately was a disaster. As we were being matched, we got a call one day saying that they wanted to change the terms of our contract. Instead of us paying the fees, so guys, on top of the roughly $10,000 we have paid to date, there was more we were going to have to pay if that had worked out. And you know what? We were fine with that because if it meant our children were home, great. However, the terms of our contract state that upon an adoptive placement and then upon finalization, these fees would be paid. Well, they decided that they wanted to change the terms of that contract to where at the time of the foster placement, because if you remember, those kiddos came to us as a foster placement due to some legalities and whatnot. And by their contract, it would switch to an adoptive placement, and then we would have to pay it. Well, they wanted us to pay it all up front. And we're like, yeah, no, that's not the contract we signed. In fact, the one phone call, she's like, do you have your contract near you? Well, here's what we want to do. And I was like, just because I don't have my contract I don't have it near me doesn't mean I don't know what it says and that I won't go get it and check. So there was a lot of back and forth with that. Ultimately, they were really upset that they didn't make anything. They didn't make anything extra. They made plenty of money off of us. And you know what, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give some credit. So in case anybody gets butthurt over this, first of all, I personally, I enjoy our worker. She's a very nice person. I enjoy everybody that works there. They're very nice people. They work for a corporation that's all about the money. So that's what it comes down to there. And it was really frustrating. We were not going to let it deter us, but I did stand my ground. And I told them that under no circumstances were we going to agree to changing the original contract that we had signed. If they no longer liked the way it was written because of the risk of them not getting paid, that's not on us. We had paid out plenty. I do know that some of their concern came in because it was not coming to us as an adoptive placement. They were coming as foster placement. They knew that there was risk of it not working out and them not making a penny off of this. And I think that's where I was going with it is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give credit and say our worker did spend a lot of time on the phone with me going over profiles and checking everything out, and then emails between us and other workers and whatnot, and fielding a lot of the stuff. Now, there was some stuff that she did that she didn't really have to, and there was a lot of stuff I found out that she was doing that a lot of other agencies don't do. She was playing middleman in places where she didn't really need to, but I'm not going to fault her for that. We appreciated all of it. However, in our eyes, the money we had already paid out is kind of what was covering that. In their eyes, that money had been paid previously. It didn't count for this. So there was a lot of issues there. And when it came down to it, here's where we get to the nitty gritty, guys. And I'm going to say a few things here, and then I'm going to try and cut this off so this doesn't get too long. When the first child did not work out so severely, it was really disheartening for us because not only our worker, but her clinical supervisor really fought really hard to keep that child in our home. They were the reason that, you know what, before we absolutely said, nope, done, this has got to be done. They were fighting for us to find in-home therapy options and all this stuff, which, first of all, guys, I'm going to tell you, we live in Western South Dakota. These are just not options that exist here to begin with. But at the start of COVID, or I guess it wasn't at the start, it was a few months in, nobody does in-person stuff. Even now, it's a struggle to get people to do that. And so finding in-home therapies for a child with such severe needs that were not disclosed to us, it really started to feel like there was a disregard for the other children's safety, all for the sake of they knew. In fact, she made the comment to me that the second he leaves, that part is done. And so we knew that. And it came down to the money. They were panicking that they were not going to get paid now for that adoption because the adoption didn't take place. So then the second child was strictly, they were strictly a foster placement to begin with, but it became strictly a foster placement. And we really lost contact with her. She had told us that as long as it was a foster placement, she didn't have much say in anything. And so we knew that. And honestly, we kind of welcomed that. But they were so in our faces about so much of this for so long that to suddenly just kind of fall to the wayside, it was like, okay, we really see what matters now. Well, then move into that placement not working out. And there were some things that were said that I was like, really? So Sean and I talked one night and we're like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Even if we want to continue to pursue this, we will not do it through them. So I did let her know that we would not be continuing. And you know what? All communication stopped. Even though technically we were still under contract with them, technically we are paid up with them through this coming May, we meant nothing to them anymore. And because we were not making them money at that point. And you know what? I don't care. Everything works out the way it is supposed to. And I have officially said my piece on Bethany. What I'm going to say without saying is that you guys can do some searches. There's a lot of information out there that I did not originally find before going with them. But again, we didn't have any choices. If we wanted to pursue this 3 years ago, they were our only choice because of our family size and the state we live in. Now, that's not the case. So we could officially say, see ya to Bethany Christian Services and still have that prospect of fostering We could even have a prospect of adopting in the future, but we have told the workers that, you know what, that's not our goal. We thought it was at one point. At this point, we would just love to foster. Now, all of that said, guys, I'm going to go first full circle and say too that we still have not gotten any calls. Sean and I have been debating whether or not to go ahead and reach out to the worker and say to the state worker and say, hey, so we're going to get any calls? Where are we sitting on this? But we were so in the middle of not sure about the appraisal and what we were doing that we haven't. We've put it off. We're on the emergency call list. I'm really shocked we haven't gotten any calls through the winter here or through the holidays, but we haven't. And whatever. We're here if they wanted to use us. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. For whatever reason, my 8-year-old is finding it hilarious to continue running behind all of this, but whatever. I'm realizing how down in the camera I am. And guys, she didn't want to be on camera, but she's over there whispering things to him, telling him to do things. And okay, so guys, there it is. I'll see how much of that little rant I edit out because I know that got a little long. So hopefully it's not as long when you see it. And if we ever get a placement, you guys will know about it because I'll mention it in the grocery hauls. I'll mention it in other things. And I do not know what his deal is today. But I am going to wrap this up because I've really got to get some stuff done. My goals today is to get the kitchen cleaned up because guys, post-holiday here, I mean, I showed you this counter here. It's not super bad, but let me show you the kitchen. And yeah, I'm gonna move this down because yes, I do have a teenager hiding over in the corner. We've got really soft memory foam mats in front of the sink and the stove over there. And there's a heat vent on the floor. So several of the kids like to sit there to read and stuff because it's soft, it's warm. Anyhow, gotta get the island cleaned up. I've gotta get all my counters cleaned up. I just need to clean up the kitchen. So, move so she's not uncomfortable anymore or worried that I'm catching her. I'll just catch this one instead. And so the kitchen, cleaning that is my goal today. I wanna get some stuff done in our room. I wanna get that pile in front of the TV stand and in front of our closet cleaned up. And just some general cleaning and decluttering. Sean gets home, take down the Christmas stuff. So I think that's plenty of work for today. We'll see if it all gets done today or if we just work on it through this week. And then we're gonna move into other rooms. I'm gonna show you guys as we do them. So these videos will keep happening. Anyhow, in the meantime, I hope that you guys are having a blessed day. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss everything else coming up next. And we'll see you in the next one. Well, Blake, you wanted to be on camera so much. You should say hi.
No.
Is it fun torturing your brother?
Sometimes.